5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
Sync.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the TTV Podcast, episode 278. I'm Meso.
I'm Ben.
I'm Phweffie.
And I'm Prpl.
And hello, everybody! How's everybody doing today?
Hello.
Pretty good.
Doing pretty well.
I just woke up like a couple hours ago, but I feel pretty rested.
I just woke up 1 hour ago.
I got an eye
Really?
infection.
What?
No!
You what?
Yeah, I've got pink eye in one eye.
Oh dear God!
that's-
I'm so glad you live like an entire ocean away from me. Holy
Oh,
crap!
hold on, let
That's
me
delicious.
rub like my infected towel in your face. Like I don't know how
No,
I'd be
don't touch me, you heathen!
you
My
get
brother got
pus
pink eye
coming out
once,
of your
and
eye,
I literally like quarantined myself off from the rest of the family more than usual because I cannot stand anything by my eye.
She has
And
the Black Death. Get away
there's
from
no way. There's no way I would be able to take like the eye drops needed to do
Yeah,
so.
they
So-
suck pretty bad.
it.
I have to have one
Oh yeah, eye
every 2
drops
hours.
suck to put on.
They are-
like,
they
I
are the
hate
worst.
putting on eye drops.
You're like,
I
I
can never
missed
keep
it.
my eye open for those.
I can't put my you have to look up, but then you have to look where the eye drop is going.
Yeah,
you're
because
just
you gotta contort your eyes so it'll go in.
So I missed like one time, and then I was like, just pour it in, and then I was like,
What, did it go
my
in your-
eye.
Did it go in your mouth?
No, it went down my cheek, so I was crying.
Aw, feels bad. Well, I hope you feel better soon.
Well, I'm already feeling
How long have
pretty
you
good.
had it?
Literally 2 to 3 days.
Out.
So I haven't
Yeah,
I haven't
that's
had the
probably
eye
the
drops.
first.
This is the first day of having the eye drops. I went to the chemist today, but I rubbed my eye the other day, and then 5 minutes later, I was like, man, my eye really hurts.
It's
And
terrible.
I was like, oh, and then my eye was all gunky this morning, and I was like, oh, great.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year! Pink
That was a thing that
eye!
happened.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
Christmas.
Mardi Gras.
What a great
How
segue.
did, how were you guys' Christmases?
Take a
Phweffie
guess.
and
It was okay.
Pretty good.
Ben? It was okay.
It was okay.
Same.
It was Christmas, average.
Gotta get that average Christmas cheer.
Yeah, average.
Anything noteworthy happen at all?
No, I ate food and I slept, and that was it, really.
Fair enough.
Christmas Day, I went out with some friends and did stuff. Oh yeah, I got my parents the PlayStation VR. And I
Oh nice.
Oh,
That's
really?
pretty cool.
as a Christmas present, yeah. And I spent a good majority of the evening just showing them how it works and stuff.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
Does it work well?
Yeah, I would say so. It's
Like, you
pretty
have to
cool.
have an experience with VR.
Yeah, I was actually kind of blown away when I tested it out because I got a refurbished one, so I played around with it a good bit since it was already opened anyway. I played around with it like a good couple of weeks before giving it to them just to test it out, make sure it works right and everything, and it's fun. It's really fun. I got Skyrim for VR because
Oh,
I just
boy.
had to.
Oh.
The crowning achievement.
Yeah,
Nice.
and that's great. Like,
Yeah.
it really is just the full game over again. Like, they didn't, like, dumb it down or anything. It's the full Skyrim experience just in VR.
That's
so you
pretty
get,
cool.
like, a literal first-person experience. Yeah.
Do you
So,
feel sick at all when
It's
you're using
neato.
it?
It works really well, and my favorite part about it would have to be the head tracking feature. Like, you can lean forward, backward, or, you can move your body around, and it'll kind of track where your head is going. And the way it looks in through the headset, it looks like you're coming in closer towards objects or moving away from them and stuff. So you can actually change the angle that you're looking at an object. It's really cool.
That
So,
sounds
like,
incredible.
for example, there's this game where you're in, like, this cage underwater, just going around exploring, looking at fish and stuff. And there's, like, an oxygen tank in front of you. You can, like, look directly under it if you wanted to. Yeah, it's really
Wow.
cool.
Do
Really
you,
immersive.
When you first used it, did you feel like a bit dizzy when you used it?
Yeah, it
'cause,
takes a little getting used to, and it also depends on what you're playing. Like, for some
Yeah,
reason,
I,
Skyrim is the only game so far that gives me a bit of motion sickness.
Yeah.
Everything else is pretty okay. And it's gotten better over time. Like, the more I play Skyrim,
You get acclimated.
The more,
Yeah.
I become acclimated. I was gonna say also, if anyone is actually thinking about picking up VR anytime, whenever, start with shorter gameplay intervals, and then just start increasing them as time goes along. So start playing for like maybe just 30 minutes, and then eventually work your way up to like an hour and a half.
If you jump in all at once, you'll wreck yourself, bitch.
Yeah,
That's what one of my
motion
friends
sickness.
did. He jumped right into like pretty much everything I had to offer. I wanted to show him like some small stuff, but we started playing like 4 different games in VR, and within an hour he had really bad motion sickness. So like Skyrim was the last game that we hopped into, and he couldn't last like more than 5 minutes in it. He was just done.
Yeah.
It's the worst.
Man, my family and I went to like a VR place where they just like have a bunch of VR rooms to do whatever, and it was pretty fun. There's this one game though where you have to walk on like a tightrope type thing, and it is legitimately kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
Because-
Like it really feels like you're there.
Yeah. It's like, even though it's just your eyes that are like blocked off from everything, it's just that's like your only real sense other than like I guess like some audio, but like there weren't even like headphones or anything.
Yeah, it's really crazy how immersive it is, honestly.
Yeah. You just think of that one video where that Russian dude is on the roller coaster and he's watching it through VR, and someone pushes him over and he goes, "Ah!"
Yeah.
He starts flailing on the ground because he thinks he's actually falling. And that's just terrifying.
That's kind of how my mom reacted when she first tried it out.
Dude, my mom was freaking out when she did the tightrope thing. It was so funny. And then she walked into a wall accidentally, but
I had her try the one where you're in the cage underwater, where you just look at fish.
with,
and she
like, the
felt like
sharks?
she was
Aw.
yeah, and she thought she was gonna like fall over into like out of the cage.
yeah, my mom
It
and
was
my
hilarious.
aunt were doing like the shark cage underwater thing, and they were screaming so much. It was so funny.
That's awesome.
Like, even if the shark was just like swimming casually past them, it was like, oh my god, there's the shark!
There was another game that like simulates. Have you guys heard of Luge?
No.
it's
Luge. It's like I guess it's like this sport where you're riding on like this longboard on your back all the way
Okay.
down like a windy road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
so
god.
there's a simulation of that. And I had my mom try that, and she was freaking out so bad because you have to control the way the direction that your body's moving in by tilting your head left and right, but she didn't understand that, so she just kept moving her head around, and you just see her character like going, oh yeah, just someone linked it. Yeah, you linked it in the chat. Yeah. So she was just going like left and right, smacking into walls and stuff, and she didn't know what she was doing. She was like crashing into cars. Oh, it was fantastic.
Oh yeah, I know what those are. They're pretty fun.
Well, see, I love that about VR. It's like even people who aren't normally like into video games can still have enjoyable experiences.
Yeah.
With it.
Yeah, it's like
That's
it's
great.
like how the Wii.
Yeah, that's why I got it from my parents, because last Christmas my aunt got like a VR thing for her phone, and she was showing it off to them, and they were already kind of blown away with that. So I was like, how about I get you guys that, but with legit video games? So
Yeah,
It's the future.
it's like
it
with
is
the
the
Wii.
future.
I remember the last time this ever happened was with the Wii, when everybody like that wasn't involved in video games was like, let's get a Wii. Let's try
That's
the
'cause
Wii.
it's accessible, yeah.
Yeah, it was like
Dude,
play
I
some
had
Wii
a
Sports.
Wii in like elementary school, and everyone in my class wanted to come over to my house to play
Yeah,
it.
it was a hot commodity
Yeah,
back when.
yeah,
Because it's
it
like,
really
yeah,
was.
okay, it's Nintendo. Nintendo's fun, great. But it's also innovation of technology, too.
Yeah.
So it's like it's just a new experience.
We used to
for
play
everybody chip in.
bowling. We used to play bowling with the family. Like,
You know
so
what?
long.
Wii Sports is still fun.
Yeah, Wii Sports. I
Like
still
I
like
played
playing
that
boxing.
recently. I played the bowling game too recently, and it was a blast.
I always like boxing.
Boxing,
there's, like,
yeah.
Some sort of like Wii Sports Resort or island
Yes.
game
Yeah.
that I'd
Yeah,
play with
yeah.
like my brother and my dad all the time. It was
I like
it was
the,
really fun watching them like do that sword fighting thing where you have to knock them off a platform.
Yeah, I
or
remember
something. That was good.
I enjoyed the other Wii Sports game. I think it was Wii Sports Resort or something, and you could go jogging. Like, I really enjoyed that. Just jogging
Good times,
in
man.
VR, like not virtual reality, but like you're jogging in a virtual world.
Simulate
You're just
exercise
jogging
with
on the
Wii
spot.
Sports Resort.
See, I'm glad that I'm happy with the way that they integrated the VR into the PlayStation 4, because it's not like it's just a VR machine. Like, you can just, like, you need to use the VR to play your games, you know? Like, with the Wii, for instance, every other game was all about using motion controls. You gotta flick your wrist to jump in a Mario game or something, you know? It's like, that stuff, wore out the, what's it called?
Novelty.
What's the word? Yeah, it wore out the novelty really quick. But with this, it's an optional thing. You don't even need the VR to begin with. You just buy a PS4, play games on it, and then the VR is, like, completely optional. I really like how that was integrated. And it still maintains motion controls. Like, you can still use those PlayStation Move controllers with the VR.
No way.
And it's hilarious because you can use them in Skyrim, too.
I'm surprised they still support that.
Yeah, they support it, and it's great. Like, you can actually hold your weapon in Skyrim and swing it how you want. You know, if you're, like, wielding a two-handed weapon, it just goes in one of your hands, and you can flick it around. Like, however you want. It's great. It's so OP.
That's great.
Yeah, that's
My aspiration
pretty
is to
cool.
beat Skyrim in VR, because I still never have. I've started
my
playing
gosh.
it 4
I've only
different
beat
times, and I always
Skyrim
get-
once.
Wait, you can beat
literally
Skyrim?
Well,
It
you
has a
beat
campaign.
the main campaign.
Yeah, there's a main story.
I have never completed the story because
I've
I
only
always
beat
get
it
so immersed
once.
in the
Like,
world.
I always get invested in side quests, and then I
Yep.
never do it.
That's
RPGs are
basically-
my vice. I can't do them.
Hey,
They're just-
Meso, you should play Final Fantasy 15.
Dude, the same thing's gonna happen. I'm
Well,
not
no,
gonna
here's
complete
the
story.
thing, though. Once you beat the campaign, you can essentially, like, go back in time and just replay all the quests.
But
and
I'm
stuff.
not gonna do it. Though.
Yes, you
I'm
are,
gonna-
because
I'm
there
gonna-
are quests that can't be unlocked until after you beat the campaign.
Dude, Final Fantasy 15 isn't even that great.
Oh my
Yeah, it sucks. It's
god.
Probably one of the worst Final Fantasy games.
Just edgy anime
Oh
try
my-
hard.
Yeah, it's just edgy anime tropes.
Like Lightning
and-
Returns was better.
Yeah, I have to
What kind of a
agree.
name is Lightning?
What kind of name is Noctis?
It's Latin!
Noctis.
Is that for night?
What kind of name do you want? Noctis name.
I was having a laugh the other day with like names from Bionicle, and I remember it was just like I've fallen and I can't get up.
Yeah, I can't.
I can't get up.
Oh,
I've
man.
fallen and I can't get up.
I can't get up. Well,
What?
that's
Why
awesome.
can't you get up? My foot. Which one? Noctis one.
All right. Well, enough about that. So,
Okay, what do
Another-
you got to bring to the table?
a few big things. Well, I don't want to like talk about this ad nauseum because we already have twice.
Bionicle?
but
I swear
not
to God,
on
if this is like
not on podcasts with us. Vin.
Oh!
You and me.
Ninjago.
We've yet to get a chance to voice our brief thoughts on Star Wars.
Oh.
Now, I understand we already had 2 podcasts, so I don't want to go too crazy with it. So give me a minute.
People are
Minute of
leaving.
your time.
everyone is leaving.
People are
Nice.
leaving.
Well, listen.
Bye, guys.
It's important, okay? Skip to the timestamp in the description if you don't want to be spoiled.
You're gonna forget to do
Okay.
that, by the way.
I'm not gonna forget it.
You're absolutely gonna forget.
So, Vin,
Hello.
you liked the movie.
Yes.
Would you like to say why or not?
I enjoyed it.
All right. Anything else?
No. I'm not getting into
Fair
this,
enough.
man. I
I
enjoyed
don't
the
know.
movie.
I don't want to debate you. It's just everybody else has said why they disliked it. You should have the
Alright.
opportunity to say why you liked it if you want. But if you don't, that's cool.
I thought it was a fun, enjoyable viewing experience.
Fair enough. Over time, like at first, I was like, I really didn't like it. Over time, I've accepted a lot of the
Yeah,
things
see,
they did.
it seems like everyone else is kind of getting to that point too. All I'm gonna say is I was at that point to begin with.
Yeah.
Like,
My-
I
my-
acknowledge the movie's flaws. I don't think it messes up the movie for me, though.
My distaste for the movie has evolved beyond The Last Jedi wasn't good. And now I'm kind of like, it did some stuff I disagree with, but I accept that this is the canon of the universe now. However, the thing with The Last Jedi is I disagree fundamentally with Lucasfilm's process for creating these movies. My rationale being, Rian Johnson has said in plenty of interviews that he was given complete creative freedom with this movie to do whatever he wanted, which is cool, except for the fact that it is the second movie of a trilogy. So everybody criticized him for not filling up these, not fulfilling these seeds that were planted by J.J. Abrams, following up on these plot points. It's not actually his fault. It's the higher-ups' fault for not having a canon guy, a story mapper, a
yeah,
planner.
that is true. So basically, for those who may not be understanding this, think of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They have been building up to Infinity War for years. They've been playing up this idea that, you got a movie for each of these superheroes. They're all going to come together eventually. They're all going to team up and fight this one villain. Like, that's a pretty definitive plan. The Star Wars trilogy that we know it right now does not have that kind of plan. They're just kind of winging it as they go along.
Yeah,
that's
my
problem.
problem. Rian Johnson could have delivered the best Snoke backstory in the world. He could have given him tons of screen time and cool moments and an epic backstory, but I still would have disliked it if I learned after the movie that he just came up with it out of nowhere and that J.J. Abrams didn't actually have a plan for Snoke when he introduced him. I disagree with that method of storytelling 100%. It's like the Bionicle effect, where Greg Farshti didn't write out the story beforehand, except worse, because they knew how Bionicle was going to end. Like Rian Johnson has said in an interview, he was like, we had that whole scene with Snoke in the throne room so we could get that inevitable Emperor in the throne room with his protege scene out of the way, and so Kylo could do whatever the heck he does in episode 9, I don't know. That hasn't been written yet. And I'm left scratching my head a little bit, like, is that really the best way to treat such a franchise? To map out your story. Everyone's bagging on Rian Johnson, but it's not, strictly speaking, his fault. He had a vision.
I understand the concern behind it, but I guess for me personally, I'm not that I'm not concerned with it because
Fair enough.
Original trilogy didn't have a plan either. Like, they had ideas before Episode 6, as we know it now, Return of the Jedi. They were planning to they had ideas to turn Luke evil. They had plans to kill off Han Solo and do this and that, and that never happened. They ended up basically winging Return of the Jedi. I think I'm not saying this is definitive or that this is 100% the case, but I think what I remember hearing was that the higher ups or the producers for Return of the Jedi ended up changing the story to become a lot more lighthearted. And
I've heard that as well.
And that's why it turned out the way it did with like the happy ending and everything with Darth Vader turning good and whatnot. So if that's the case with these movies, if it's gonna be going that same route, I'm cool with it. If anything, it makes me a little bit more intrigued to see how they're gonna wing the next movie. Like it's totally a big risk. Like it's a huge risk.
I do admire it slightly, like
there's like some sense of admiration that I have for something like that, where you just throw out all these ideas and then you leave it up to somebody else to kind of work with them and reformat them in a way. And I guess it already did happen. J.J. Abrams introduced all this and that in Force Awakens, and then Rian Johnson worked with them and inevitably, spoilers, threw them all away. Pretty much all of them away, but now it's he in doing so he also brought in some new stuff that people may or may not be okay with, and so again just makes me intrigued to see what happens next.
It's just one of those questionable things because it doesn't make for a cohesive viewing experience. Like I went back because one of the big things was Rey's parents. And I went back and I rewatched the vision scene because I saw a lot of people going like, well, nothing that Maz says in Force Awakens is contradicted by what happens in the new movie. Like, everything she tells Rey works perfectly fine now that we know that Rey's parents are just random nobodies. But then I went back and I analyzed the vision. There's a scene, a bunch of different people talk in that vision. It's a bunch of lines from characters, a bunch of musical cues. Obi-Wan actually talks in the vision. I had forgotten that Obi-Wan says Rey's name.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? Does anybody know?
Anybody? I definitely don't know. I
says Rey.
I could try to explain it.
Shrug.
I could try to explain it, but I wouldn't want John, like, calling me a Snyder apologist or something like that.
Okay, well.
Oh, what are you typing?
That was a thing that did happen off air. It was a big deal. So, that's basically all I wanted to say.
Yeah, I think Var pretty much summed it up well.
Ghost Obi-Wan is aware of Rey.
Oh, you want to go Obi-Wan?
Which is like, I mean, yeah, I would probably say that too. I don't know how to explain the Force or that whole vision. It's just what it is. Star Wars is weird.
I understand that. I understand the Force ghosts are like aware of what happens, but like when it comes to directing and like writing, you write lines and you insert dialogue and scenes to convey a message. And to me, that was nothing but a red herring.
Well,
if there isn't a deeper meaning to it beyond surface level, then why is it written into the script?
I know John's kind of joking in the chat, but I'm actually going to humor what he's saying. He says, "What if Rey's parents are nobody, but her grandparent is Obi-Wan?" And I think, hey, by all means, they could easily turn that around. Because I know people were already theorizing that she was going to be related to Obi-Wan, and I guess he doesn't necessarily need to be the dad. He could be the granddaddy.
All right.
I don't know. I like
Obi-Wan's
the movie.
kids became drunk Sand.
Yeah, well, one of Anakin's kid turned into a farmer boy, so
hey. Farmer boy.
He may be your father, but he sure as ain't your daddy.
Nice. Okay, that was all I basically wanted to say. Like, I remember Vin and I were kind of like going back and forth on Twitter, and I made a G2 comparison talking about like the writing, but I've realized the more the weeks have gone on, the G2 comparison is actually different than I had initially thought of. It's not about the quality of writing, but it's about contradicting other things. Like, I remember I gave G2 so much flack simply because a line on their website was contradicted, the main story because it was written by two different people.
Right.
And it's like, that's with Bionicle, but this with Star Wars, whether it's good or bad is completely subjective. Like you said, it's kind of a risk. It's interesting to see if they pull it off. It's not inherently bad. It just bothers me that this is how they're handling the Star Wars franchise, which is about lore and backstory and world building. It's a head scratcher I can't fully wrap my head around.
Yeah,
if they come back in
think
episode 9 and they pull it off, it's great.
It's that difference of association, I guess, where everybody has a different perception of the Star Wars lore. Like, I remember there was a debate in this chat last night.
Oh boy!
About two conflicting perspectives of how the Star Wars universe is told in story and stuff, and it just goes to show everybody's got different expectations and a different way to approach Star Wars now because there's just so much to back it up.
Totally true.
But I don't know. Maybe I'm just a casual viewer.
Maybe
I'm
filthy casual.
With that said, I feel like I am happier than a lot of people that did not enjoy the movie.
Whatever happens, I don't want to take away your happiness. I'm happy if you're happy. So that's about all I wanted to say.
What's next?
Well, there really isn't much else. I'll give the floor to Phweffie and Prpl. Any interesting things going on with you two?
I've already talked about this in the other podcast, and I haven't watched it.
You saw Guardians 2.
I saw Guardians 2, yeah.
Wait, did you only just now see that?
Guardians 2.
Yeah. mean,
How'd
She's
you
been
like
Marvel fatigued for a long time.
yeah,
so tell
I've
us your
been
thoughts.
well, not just Marvel, just movie fatigued. Like I haven't seen any
That's fair.
movies this year. Like, and due to like I've moved away from where there was like a cinema like just down the road, and so
what movies
like.
came out these? The Blade Runner came out this year.
Oh, I watched Blade Runner.
Thor,
but
the
only
two
because
Lego
Did
movies.
Split come out this year?
Yeah.
Split
Yes.
came out in
Split
January,
came out.
I think.
Did you see that one?
No, didn't see Split.
No,
Split was awesome.
I gotta recommend it to you.
Yeah,
I love that
a
movie.
few
Great.
people have recommended that to me.
Yeah.
I did not
Um,
expect to like it
you-
half
you-
as much as I did.
You gotta watch Baby Driver too.
Yes,
Yeah,
I have heard
that's
about
good.
that. Yeah, definitely. It's just getting around to doing it and then remembering, of all things, you know.
Totally.
But Guardians was probably one of my favorite movies I've seen this year. Like, as in, I had fun watching it.
That's
Blade
cool.
Runner was like one of those movies, probably the best movie I saw this year because it's like it gave me the feeling of being in the cinema for the first time again. Like it made me feel like that. It made me feel immersed and it made me feel excited. And I've never
right.
gotten that excited like while watching a movie like in a long time.
That's
So-
cool. So part of the enjoyment was just the overall viewing experience, like just going
Yeah,
out to
just
see
the
the
way
movie.
it was.
And it turned out to be a
yeah.
pretty good movie too.
Yeah, and it
That's
was
cool.
so like
Nice.
mind blowing to watch. Just whereas when I usually watch movies, like I watch them, but I'm still aware that I'm mostly in the cinema and I'm looking at the floor. I'm looking kind of like not completely distracted by the floor or anything, but like I know I'm not completely immersed in the movie. So that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
When a movie actually manages to immerse you or a show or whatever, it's something to behold.
Yeah,
It's a
because
really
I got
great
like that
film.
when I watched
Just
The
a
Punisher.
real feeling.
Which,
It's
yeah.
just like you're in a whole other world, which is like kind of the point.
Exactly. And when it fails to do that, it's really, really bad.
Yeah.
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 So are we gonna talk about Guardians too?
Yeah, if you
I don't know. She doesn't have to.
I'm a little.
You watched it.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Because I
Yeah.
don't want to talk about Guardians too.
You don't? Okay.
No. I'm
enough.
kind of scared to tread into that territory. Because
it's, you know, I understand why people wouldn't like it. It's personally
Okay.
something I can tell it's very strong. Like it's very one-sided in what it's trying to do. And so if you wanted something else from the movie, I would imagine it being very disappointing. Like if you
Yeah.
wanted
Yeah.
action, if you wanted action and just loads of like just one-off lines where they're like just, you know, just fighting and stuff like in the first one, then yeah, I can completely like understand why you wouldn't like the movie. But I'm into the more like personal stuff, like kind of drama and whatever, and a bit of mystery. So like when, you know, certain stuff happens in the movie and you're like, something is off, but I don't know what it is yet. And it's like you're trying to sit there and think about it, and you're just like, what is off about this? And then obviously you got the other stuff going on. And like, I found the deepness of like the characters talking to one another. There was some pretty deep stuff in there while I was listening to it. So that's what I enjoy in a movie personally. I'm not really into the pointless action. I don't really care at this point, unless it's well
I'm not really into the
choreographed.
pointless character interactions. No, okay.
No, I mean, that's up to you. I prefer pointless character interactions than pointless action. That's just my personal
Totally fair.
opinion.
That's
but-
fair. I agree.
Yeah. You can... I was going to say something, but I can't remember what I was going to say, but...
Your subjective opinion is objectively wrong.
Oh, that's
Well,
right. If it's like... I can be okay with pointless violence if it's well choreographed.
But where's your objective opinion?
I still don't know the
I
difference
feel like
between those
movie...
two.
You can't... We gotta
Subjective is personal, objective is fact.
We get
Okay,
into
cool.
We get into a really...
That's why there's no such thing as objective opinion.
Yeah, we get into a really in-depth thing when we talk about objective opinions in movies, unless you want to look
Oh,
at
yes.
it on a technical standpoint.
The magic belt was objectively bad in Spider-Man Homecoming.
I
There
hate you
go.
so much. You and
For
that
example-
magic belt, man.
The Room or Sharknado is objectively a bad movie because of the way it was shot and the way it was written and the way
Why
it was acted.
did why did you send that picture? That was really quick.
No,
That
Meso,
was
no!
really quick. Oh,
probably
you
got
posted it
saved.
before. Never mind.
That's also
They're not that quick.
That's also Meso in Overwatch as well. When he's
Roadhog.
Roadhog.
Magic hook time.
Roadhog.
It's
Nice.
whole hog time! No, Meso, no!
I'm a one-man apocalypse. Alright, well.
So New Year's is coming up.
It's gonna be a thing.
I have no plans for New Year's. Like, I'm just gonna stay up anyway, because that's what I always do.
I have no
Every
plans
night,
either. I'm just
but-
gonna sit there and just sit there.
I'm gonna cross my fingers.
I
and
have
hope
one
for a better
plan.
year. A single plan.
To draw more.
I have a cunning
Nice.
plan,
Nice.
my lord.
I'm like
I
low-key
sit
there.
tempted to do another one of those like 365 days of art topics, but
Oh,
Do it.
that would be.
Like-
I would like to do that.
I'm not gonna do that again.
I feel like I need to spend more time just practicing, and
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
gonna do
I
that
mean, it's a
again.
good
That's fine.
like way to just do a little doodle every day. But I realized this
I
year I've
can't.
been
I just
so
can't do
freaking
that.
bored with like everything, and it's like, oh,
Drawing?
this is. I don't know. It's like I didn't have that thing every day going, and even though I couldn't like entirely keep up every day, it was still fun.
It was something to keep you on track, I guess.
Yeah, like
It
helped
keeps
me
you in a
keep track
routine,
of
so you just
days
you get used
or
to it.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do it again then. Why not? If you fall off, so be it. But at least you have it as a framework.
yeah, you should actually you should organize your portfolio.
We should Apprentice
already.
said we should have a TTV moments of 2017.
I
We
wish
do
I could
normally-
do that. Don't
Do
We
we?
normally do that, but
We have not started preparations.
We have zero preparations. So sorry about that. Hopefully we'll get it done.
You can just like quickly pick stuff out from the topic right now.
Yeah.
We could do it. I guess it wouldn't really matter too much if it was like a week or two late.
That's true. Vin, you need to do top 10 Bionicle mocks of 2017.
I don't
Because the
wanna
last one
do
did
that.
really well.
I don't want to do that.
The last one did really well. Really.
Really?
Like view-wise, or did people actually like it?
I think both.
Okay.
Like, it got 276,000 views for starters. So that's pretty good. And it did get 2,000 likes. So
Well, if people
There
like
you
it,
go.
then sure, I'll do it.
you don't even have to, like, rank them or anything. Well, yeah, I guess you kind of do. Top 10. But you can just pick whatever. You don't have to give any thought to it. Just, I like this mock. I like this mock. This mock. This mock. This mock.
I know how to do it. I've done it before.
I'm
Cool
just,
10
you don't have to be super in-depth about it.
How to do it, Mom?
I-
Stop reminding me.
I know.
I did top 10 Lego
I'm
sets.
aware.
We're just chilling on Dropbox, and I was just like, I like this set. This set's neat. This is, you know,
This set's neato indeedo.
Indeedo.
Mosquito taquito.
Burrito.
But yeah, I want to start drawing more. I'm not going to be in school for this next spring semester. Isn't it weird they call it spring? I think it's kind of weird, but whatever.
Why is
This-
it weird?
Because
I don't
spring.
know, because it technically starts in the winter, sort of, and then then they. I don't. It's weird
Yeah, my
because
my
then the later
college
semester
does.
is called fall because it starts in the fall. No, it doesn't.
Well-
It starts in the summer. No, this
the
is.
heck?
I hate it. Anyway,
My semester
I'm not gonna be in school, so
my
I'm gonna.
fall semester is mostly in the fall, and then my winter semester is mostly in the winter, so that's why it's called that.
See, that's nice.
Good for you,
Good
Perp.
for you.
Thank you.
Anyway.
I just want it to get bright again. I just want the
Yeah.
sun to be out more. I miss it so much. I
know.
had a really bad sleep schedule the other day. I'd go to bed at 6. When the sun would start to rise, I would wake up and it'd be 4 o'clock and the sun was gone again. And I was
Funny
just
you
like,
say
where
that.
is the sun?
I want to go out less. I've been going out
Really?
too much. Going to work,
Really?
going to hang out, going out and doing this and that. Woo woo woo. No, I just want to stay at home, do some self-teaching, do some drawing, catch up on everything catch up on all those projects I've started a long time ago that I never got around to finishing because I ended up becoming so busy, and
Yeah.
just really just do what I've been wanting to do for a while, become a self-taught artist.
That's fair enough.
And that slowed down a lot as the year went on, just because so much personal stuff came up. And I'm hoping that, like, now with school out of the way, that's a big that's a big thing that I don't have to worry about anymore. At least until next fall, if I get admitted to the university that I applied to.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
hey, big
Yeah,
steps, but here we go, you know.
Phweffie, I want to read your fan fiction in 2018.
Oh no, please!
I want you to get that done. I want you to write in 2018 the year of writing.
The
Make it
year,
happen.
well, there was NaNoWriMo in November.
But you didn't do it now, did you?
No, because I was busy.
I feel like 2018 is gonna become the year of progress.
The year of
buddy.
things
I
happening.
really do.
I feel like there's a little bit of big priorities coming up for everybody.
Oh, yeah, what's your
yeah.
New Year's resolution? Or are we kind of talking about that already?
Kind of, yeah.
Because my New Year's
I don't typically
resolution
do
is
New
to
Year's
stop
resolution.
oversharing things.
Oh, what? But
Oh.
Phweffie,
I don't necessarily believe in New Year's resolutions because usually that's at least from what I've seen in other people.
It never
usually that
really
only
works.
lasts like the first month.
No,
And then-
it never works. And in fact, if you really want to change that badly, you won't wait. You'll do it as soon as possible.
Like I've had a friend who's for the past several years has said after New
You'll
Year's
lose weight.
that my New Year's resolution is to get this, and that done.
Never happens.
He would work towards it for like the first month or two and then just completely drop off by like March or April.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, for example, like a couple of years ago, I was like, I'm going to start going to the gym, New Year's resolution. I never, ever did it.
Yeah,
and
Look, the gym,
just-
right? Yeah,
You
that
do,
most
but
common
then
trope.
one day, I found out the gym was literally around the corner. I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go to the gym today. And then tomorrow, well, not straight after, but have a rest day and then go the next day. I did that for nearly the whole month, and then I had to go home, and now I can't wait to go back. Because I don't
I just
exercise.
feel like you shouldn't use New Year's as an
excuse.
to push forth your priorities.
all
Like,
it is
you really
want to
just get stuff done, then just go get it done. New Year's is just
do
another
it.
day in your
Just
life.
do
Just because
it.
it's called New Year's doesn't suddenly mean like it's a grand awakening, like the Force has awakened
like,
again.
hey,
like no,
there was
it's-
this one episode of AFE where the host dude, I can't believe I forgot his name. The host was like, "Oh, I make my New Year's resolution like a few months beforehand, so by the time I inevitably stop like doing it, I can just enjoy the New Year's or whatever." And it's like, that has stuck with me my entire life.
I
What
just
is
say
AFE?
to myself, oh,
Wait, what?
What is AFE? What show?
America's Funniest Home Videos?
Oh yeah, America's Funniest Home. Yeah.
yeah.
I always thought it was dumb that they never include the H, but whatever.
Yeah, that's what
AFHV.
What Phweffie?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I just say to myself, every day is a new day with new possibilities and opportunities, and you take it like that.
Well, look at you.
Yeah,
look
I
at
like
you!
that. I like that attitude. I wish the Star Wars fandom had that.
Oh boy.
You know, that
I mean, that's how
movie's
Rian
such-
Johnson does
that's
it. Every day is a new day. Just
the
a new
next
adventure.
day.
Boy.
Tom Bergeron, that's his name. Thank you.
Tom
for the-
Bergeron?
Bergeron.
Tom
Bergeron.
Bergeron?
Burger on.
Is that kind of like
Yeah.
You've Been Framed,
Burger
but
on,
American?
burger off.
Is that like
Burgeroni.
is that Americans You've Been Framed, like a home video thing where they show you a bunch of like videos people put in?
AFE was just the original Vine.
Yeah, like it's just like
Pretty much.
it's a bunch of videos people send in, and it's like
What's the deal with Vine 2? I've heard that's a thing. Are they actually
Vine 2?
doing a
The
Vine
creator of
sequel?
Vine is, I guess, making like another Vine.
But
thing.
why? Why did Vine go offline in the first place? I don't know. If they were just gonna do Vine 2.
I don't know. Well, I
They
think it's
missed
like
out the
made
opportunity
independently of
of,
the actual Vine or
They couldn't
something.
monetize it. Our special studio audience member Jonathan Drawn says. So why? How is this gonna be any different? How is it
Like,
gonna,
he's just like doing it from his own pocket or something.
we don't know.
Like he's just so
Magic
rich he
and
can just make
gold.
another platform or whatever. I don't
So rich from all that non-monetized Vine.
know.
yeah.
All that sick non-existent Vine money. Yeah, I don't know. I hope 2018's a better year.
They missed
than
the opportunity of
2017
calling
was.
it the Grapevine.
The Grapevine.
Do the Grapevine.
That's great.
Nah, that was I think
Oh, yeah.
not.
I have hope.
Okay, did Vine just not have advertisements on their website or something?
I don't know.
I never
I
used
don't
it, so-
remember.
I don't. Not that I recall.
Not that I remember. Yeah,
Don't-
not like YouTube.
Do you all
is.
use like ad block?
No, I think
No, it's just
it
it wasn't a
just didn't
platform
have
that
it.
you could monetize. There was no option to put advertisements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus, like, the videos were super short anyway. It's not like they're gonna put an
Yeah.
ad on it.
Yeah.
So literally like 10 seconds long. Yeah.
Watch a
7
15-second ad for a 10-second Vine.
Yeah.
Great business model. Would watch.
I find Facebook's ads the most annoying. When you're watching a video and it's like 30 seconds long and you can't skip it. YouTube
Yeah,
slowly become more like that, where you can't skip them. And it's just like, well, time for my mind to wander for 30 seconds.
Pretty much. I very rarely get unskippable ads, but I
I
see a lot of
always
people
get
always
them.
talking about them,
Yeah.
especially like on our videos. They're like, "Oh, TTV put on unskippable video ads. How could they?" And I'm like,
You can like
We don't choose.
modify that in the settings actually, the monetization settings.
interesting. Well, we haven't changed anything in the settings since Word Go, so it's not like, oh, TTV made this change. You know,
Yeah.
it's just something that has to be monitored, I suppose. Yeah. I have hope for 2018. 2017 has
I also
been
have hope for
a
2018.
year of ups and downs.
I mean,
I'm
I
hoping
still
for
think
2018.
like
Since we're talking about hope about 2018, and since we were talking about Star Wars, how about that Han Solo movie that's coming out?
Oh yeah, that's a thing.
I don't
I don't know
know.
what to expect.
It's it's not even Han Solo, it's Solo, a Star Wars
I'm Han
story.
Solo.
And it's like
I'm Han Solo.
young Han Solo.
And the guy doesn't
Like-
even really look like Harrison Ford.
Wait, who's
There's
playing
a
him?
leaked picture.
Wait, who is it?
I always forget his name, honestly.
Let me look it up. It's really hard to spell.
Yeah, he's got like a really strong brow. I've noticed.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Alden
Yeah.
Ehrenreich.
I will post a picture
Okay.
of him right now. I'm sorry that it's small. Boom.
Oh.
That's him.
What the heck?
No,
He's
he
playing
doesn't
young
look like...
Han Solo.
What?
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, he doesn't look
pretty
like
weird.
Han Solo. I mean, he might look better in costume, but he definitely.
It is better marginally. There's a leaked photo of the movie. It's supposedly from marketing. It's not a direct promotional image, but like there's a lot of anecdotal evidence to suggest it is official. I'm gonna post it here. I might not put it in the video because Lucasfilms has been taking it down.
Oh, okay.
If you look it up, you can find it, and he does look. He looks marginally better.
Wait, is that the actual
his
poster,
face-
or is that like?
His face is too triangular.
It's a marketing document of some kind. Poster. It
'Cause,
might not be the official movie
you-
poster, but
Chewie looks really weird.
yeah, he does.
It's like a sitcom, unless that's what they're looking to do, you know.
Perhaps. I mean, it is younger. You know,
Yeah.
Chewie, so.
Yeah, I can see what you mean. Like, I don't know what it is. It just, I don't know.
He's definitely better in that photo. It's just
Yeah,
he has
definitely.
he has a very punchable face for one.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know
not what
what
I
it
could
is.
describe.
Yeah, it's not as
It's-
long as Harrison Ford's.
No,
Yeah, it doesn't look.
it's just like he constantly has like a mouthful of food, like in his cheeks, like a chipmunk. That's the only way I can describe it.
He's got
Like,
he's got
just-
like a similar
just
chin,
starts-
but other than that, like yeah, his face is more
And
wide.
And according to reports, we were discussing this the other day. There are reports circulating, obviously nothing official, like this would ever be official knowledge. But the current understanding is that the movie is in a bit of a bad state behind the scenes. If you believe the reports, Disney's already written it off to
no.
be a failure because of a lot of factors going on behind the scenes, one of which being that the guy apparently can't act.
No.
They had to bring on an
Oh.
acting coach to be in every one of his scenes. Apparently he fluked his audition somehow. And when they actually get into the movie, he's having trouble acting, if you believe the,
No
the
way.
reports.
Why
See,
didn't
like,
they just
I-
fire him and get a new guy?
Yeah.
Like when they were
Because they're too
recording,
far
like,
into
the
production.
The first few scenes he's in, like what even?
Yeah, it is kind of sketchy.
It's kinda
when you
more
start-
That is
complicated
really
than I
weird.
think,
It's like
but-
how, messed up his auditions. How did he get in? How did he
That's a very good question.
nail the role?
How can
Yeah.
you fluke through a franchise as big as Star Wars?
The only thing I can think of which would actively be like their fault is if they chose this guy based on his looks and similarity to Harrison Ford. Then his actual
But even
actor-
then, he doesn't even look like him.
Yeah, and even that, but
Yeah.
you can see why they'd choose him because he has got a similar chin and like jaw. It's just his face is really wide, which I don't. It just looks weird in comparison to like. But like, I'd rather have somebody who like looked like, or if not that, it's that he's attractive and they went for that because like obviously like. The reaction that people got with like Kylo Ren, which is kind of sad because he's not conventionally attractive, and so when he takes his helmet off, I heard a bunch of people in the audience just kind of like be shocked, and I'm just like, it's a normal looking person, yay,
Yeah.
like a normally
You think
attractive
Kylo Ren's
person.
normal looking? I think he's kind of ugly.
No, I think he's fine. Like I don't
What she's
see
trying to
anything.
say is like
Okay,
he's not like
he's
a
not, like,
supermodel. He's just like
hot.
a dude.
He's just a dude. Like he's
I
not
don't
like
know.
got like
I
one
think
of
he's
those.
really weird looking.
He hasn't got like a Roman
Oh,
nose and like
driver.
that like chiseled face. He's just got like a normal like I'd say he's above average attractive.
Adam Driver.
But that's
Or-
based off. Wait, is that his name?
Yes, Adam Driver.
Okay.
That's Kylo Ren. Yes.
Yeah. So that's me, and obviously attractiveness is no, but.
Ben Swolo.
Okay, so when I saw that movie, I had to sit in the first row. So I thought that like his body was just like way bigger than his head because of the angle. But does it actually look like that, like in the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It does.
Holy
he is
crap.
Ben Swolo.
Okay, well, you know,
Oh
it's
my
good to
God.
look different, you know.
So many great pictures.
Oh my.
It's the best meme. All right.
Well, I mean,
Anyway.
that's just like an idea.
That's no moon. The moon one is the one that got me. When I saw that, I was dying.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my god, you just completely ruined my.
What? Do you no longer
That
think
was
he's above
amazing.
average?
That was amazing. That's no moon.
Yeah.
Well, that's a shame if
Basi-
it's gonna if it's gonna flop. Like,
No, it's like the current understanding. Like it's been plagued with a lot of issues. It's lost the directors. It's lost actors. This whole acting coach thing, and then some people are just skeptical of a Han Solo movie. Period. Like, why
Yeah,
do we
like
need
what would it
this?
be about?
yeah, but I
What
see
story
their
is there to
point.
tell?
I don't see why you'd need one.
I thought the same way about Rogue One, but at least it did have. It was an important event from Star Wars that they made a story based off of. This movie is just some random adventure from Han Solo's youth that can't have any relevance to anything, otherwise it wouldn't have been mentioned. Big Alright. The one interesting thing that I will say about Solo, there are rumors, nothing credible. Well, maybe credible, I don't know. But nothing official. That Boba Fett is in the movie. Which I would find very interesting.
Yeah, loads
If
of people
true.
would be drawn in by that because
Didn't they
Yes.
want to make
Their
a Boba
favorite.
Fett movie too?
They do. They do
I
indeed.
would prefer seeing a Boba Fett movie because we don't really know. Well, we do because there's a game, but like we don't know too
There's
much
expanded
about it.
material.
Yeah.
I would love a Boba Fett movie. 100%.
So it makes me
that'd
sad
be
that
something
like
fresh.
all that backstory and everything, and he just falls into a monster and dies.
Yep. Apparently they retconned it to where he escaped from the Sarlacc pit, which I find hilarious.
Wow.
He's like jetpacked right back out.
That's
Wow.
hilarious.
This one's the Death Star. This is Star Killer B.
It's like, you know when you play a video game and you got a character design and you can make them really wide? It's like,
Yeah.
you can make their shoulders really wide.
Make like a
Yeah,
custom
now-
character.
Now I'm gonna have to wrestle with the existential crisis. Like, do I put that in the thumbnail or not? Because it's technically from the movie, you know? And now I don't know what I'm gonna do, because it's gonna be the best thumbnail ever.
Could you do like the TIE Fighter one or the Lego one?
Maybe. But it's still that gray area, because, like, you know...
Do
it's
the
from
Lego
movie.
one.
Yeah, I'll do the Lego one. Vince!
It's not Ben Swolo, that's just Ven.
Oh.
Whoa!
Alright.
I went to
That's a good
Brick
idea,
Fair
man.
and I have some questions.
How'd you fit into that jacket?
You'll never know.
It's like a
I got
TARDIS,
a better-
it's bigger on
better
the
answer.
inside.
Very carefully.
Yeah. It's a good idea, Vince.
How
Let's
did
do the
I
Lego
fit
one.
into that jacket? Barely.
Well, you and John fit into my jacket, so.
It was very, very uncomfortable. Because it was
I
John.
can- Yeah.
Alright.
No, it's so
That-
funny though. I can't believe 2 people can fit in my hoodie.
Yeah, you're
Really?
pretty
You had a
ridiculous.
really
Don't
big
lie.
hoodie.
Yeah, I mean it's really big on me too.
Big
but-
hoodies are the best, though. You don't want a small hoodie.
Yeah.
Big hoodie, big problems.
It's like when I
Big hoodie,
wore
no
one of my
problems,
old
actually.
hoodies. Also, I have a funny story, actually.
Tell it.
So I go to university and I'm staying at my house, my actual house, during the holidays. So I might have to pack everything away. You have to message the staff of the university to tell you that you're going away, or if you're staying, you tell them that, and they go into your room and they check your room and everything while you're gone. So you need to pack everything away and everything, and anything you leave out in the kitchen is thrown out. So you know you sort out all your stuff and everything. And then you do that. Well, I left it till the last minute because I was in a really creative mood and I just wanted to get some work done. So I'm up the entire night packing, and so I put all my clothes and stuff in this one suitcase and a couple other bags. And I get up maybe at about 5 a.m. I'm like, maybe I should have a nap. And so I have a nap, I oversleep, and I get a message from my parents saying, "We are waiting outside for you, where are you?" So then I'm like, oh no. So I get up and I'm rushing, and I take all my bags out, and I get all my bags in the car and everything, and I drive 2 to 3 hours back to my house, and I have a nap. And I get up, I'm like, okay, it's time to unpack my stuff. And then I'm like, where's my suitcase? And I'm looking around, I'm like, hey, do you know what my suitcase is? Did I bring in a suitcase? And they're like, no. So I ring up my other parent, I'm like, do you know what my suitcase is? Did I leave it in the car? And they're like, no. I'd left my suitcase in my room with all my clothes in, so I had no clothes.
You left your entire suitcase back.
The
at your
only thing
university.
I brought was my toothbrush and my
I
charger.
can't believe that still.
I
How'd
can't
you
believe
pull that off?
I had a mental breakdown because I was like, how could you leave the suit? And now I know when I go back, I'm just gonna see my suitcase on the floor, and I'm just gonna be like, it's all packed with all my deodorants and sanitary stuff and all my clothes and my underwear and everything. I'm just gonna be like, this is just insulting.
Look on the bright side, you're good to go for next Christmas.
I made it to university,
prepped and ready
but
to
I
go.
forgot my suitcase. Anyways, that was just a stupid mistake of mine, and that's why I had to wear
Awesome
small
stuff.
hoodies, because they're hoodies from 5 years ago. So it's
Small hoodies.
small
big
hoodies, yeah. So it reminded me
Oh
of.
boy. Well, that's
Still
a great
salty
story,
about that.
Phweffie, but I'm sorry that happened to you.
Still salty.
Var, stop! You're flooding the chat with Swolo!
Oh, that Roblox one is horrific.
By the way, if you want to like mess around and make crazy looking bodies like for your characters, just use WWE as your like character creator, because you can literally make their arms like hang down to their ankles and they'll still do the suplexes and whatever, and you just see their arms and stuff just flail and bend into each other. It's the weirdest thing. You ever watch like fantasy sims of WWE where the Joker fights like SpongeBob and they literally make a
Wow, that timing, Prpl.
I know, right?
they make SpongeBob fight the Joker and they just pit it out and it's great. This is
Coming in 2022, Ben Swolo, a Star Wars story.
Oh my god.
I still like
Swallow cookie.
oh.
Oh my gosh.
Poor Adam Driver. He's become a meme.
Yeah, imagine that. You're like, you know, you're in a movie and then everybody's just making memes of this one shot you're in.
Yep. Okay, I think we're gonna begin the process of wrapping things up.
We're gonna begin the end.
We're gonna begin the end. But is there anything else you'd like to say? Because this is the last podcast recorded in 2017, and the first podcast released in 2018. So it's a weird gray area.
Oh yeah, Happy New Year.
I guess,
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.
Hope everybody has a very nice 2018.
I hope everybody else enjoys the rest of Crimbo Limbo.
What?
What?
Oh,
Crimbo
NaNoWriMo,
Limbo.
Crimbo Limbo? Is that like,
Yeah.
are they related?
I see.
Oh no, they're not related. It's just
What's
just the period between Christmas and New Year's where you do nothing. It's Crimbo Limbo.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, it's something that I
Well,
heard in a
I'm
song
in that
today.
period right now. Let us all hope to get our not really New Year's resolutions completed. Let's just opt to be better people and do great things in 2018. I think those are good goals to always live by. And for all you fans out there, thank you very much for your continued support throughout the year and through everything we do. I got a pretty good feeling about 2018. We've got some stuff in the pipeline. We've got some things that we're planning. And if everything goes well, it's going to be a good year, I think. And
Don't
hope
jinx
you
it,
all will
Meso.
continue. If everything goes well. But knowing our history, things always go wrong when we least expect them. So we'll see how things go. But thanks all for following us throughout the year. And as every week, I'd like to give a special shout out to one of our patrons who are always around and our live studio audience. This shout out, I think, is gonna go to Phweffie.
Hey!
So thanks, Phweffie, for being a cool person.
Out of curiosity, do you
following
just have a
our
list of like 5 people? Like 5 of the patrons?
No, to the patron list.
Okay. I feel like he's
Thank
gotten shouted
you
out before,
for-
but maybe it's
thank
just because
you
we
for-
like talk about
Every,
him on the
every
podcast.
single person has been shouted out before.
Thank you for
that's cool.
Every single person.
Thank you for
I
making
think.
your name a joke that we made.
Don't quote me on that, because I'm probably wrong.
Yeah.
But all you patrons are awesome. You're all cool. And you guys are pretty cool, too. You know? I like you guys.
I hate you,
Thanks
no,
for
I'm
being
kidding.
on today.
I hate you
I
with
hear
the
what you
passion
said.
of a
I just heard
burning
like
fire.
this loud
Gosh.
weeping.
Thank you all very much for listening to TTV 278. And we'll
Yeah.
see you all in the new year.
Happy New Year,
I'm
everybody.
Meso.
Goodbye. I'm Ben
I'm Phweffie.
Swolo.
Sigh.
Phweffie.
I am Phweffie.
And I'm Prpl.
And farewell, everybody. We'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Happy New Year,
Goodbye.
everybody. Bye.
Still laughing at all these memes.